All right, we got Doc here tonight, waiting on Ozzie to come in to represent for Zany. He is out on paternity leave.
We got Doc.
Sorry.
I got that fucking echo back again.
That was me, probably. I didn't have it muted.
Okay. And we're going to talk about BrickLink, and to start off with the hashtag make BrickLink great again. So there's a lot of problems with BrickLink right now, especially the way that they're handling their math on the wanted lists. It's completely off, and there's just when customers can't make purchases because of the browser they use, and that's still going on, and it also spread to Safari earlier this week and then hopped back off, and there's a bunch of different issues that could be avoided with different things, and you, the buyer, and me, the seller, are the brunt of it. So, Doc, let's hear your side.
My side, my rant. You want to go straight into the rant right now?
Well, I want you to build up to it slowly. I want you to talk about what's been going on. About being a real doctor now.
Yeah, I am a big boy now. I graduated with my doctorate in instruction and curriculum. I am in the same job teaching faculty at a university how to teach online, and I love it. And I have had more time to get out here in the shed and work on BrickLink before I got really depressed on the switch over. I've been trying to up my lots in my store, just porting out a lot of onesies and twosies here and there. It's taking a little bit more time than I really want, but I'm like you. I think you said at the time before, I bought so many onesies and twosies that were left on the shelves at all the stores I've been to. It's going to add a lot of lots, but it's not going to add a lot of volume and quantity.
Yeah. You're getting that nice little trap there, aren't you?
Yeah, but I got to get through it because some of these have been sitting on the floor they moved twice. They've been sitting in stacks for about 3 years now, and some of them are actually worth more. If the boxes weren't damaged or so messed up, they'd be worth more sealed. But right now I'm porting out 3 sets of the Palace Cinema, and that's got like 400 lots in it, so it's taking me a while. I've got it parted out, and we put up the light bluish gray, the dark bluish gray last night. So now I'm just down to the dark tan is the biggest amount of lots in it, and then all the miscellaneous little lots in that. It's going to be done this weekend. I guess that's about it. This giant bug is in my room.
You got any damaged Deadpool sets?
Damaged? No. Those are been gently wrapped in a box and safely stored where Brick or Treat will never get to them. So
double wrap protection.
That's my child's college fund is the Wolverine Deadpool sets. I have a fair
until they come out with a DP.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I have got a lot. I've got a lot still, that are in a personal collection, and I've got a lot that I've set aside just to let it sit there and age. So, well, we got Brick Willett in the house. Brick Willie. He is here talking about a seller that's kind of jumping into the game strong and fast. It's him. He's got a whole trailer dedicated to space for the BrickLink store,
and he's got a whole he's got a clamshell for the onesie twosies that he ends up with if he ends up going bonkers and hog wild like you and I did in the beginning and just snatching up whatever we can get one at a time.
I've noticed he's done a lot of great big hauls lately. I had to give him fair warning on the ordering from certain places. When you order multiples, I was scared he was going to get banned there real quick. But,
cool, brother.
So
otherwise, you're going to join the club. Get banned from at. What's up, Bubba?
Bubba Bricks is in the house. He's been building tonight. It's on Instagram. Kevin is
also,
saying...
Willett, if you want to come on the show and talk your current experience with BrickLink, we are opening that up to all BrickLink sellers tonight just to come in and give their opinions. Their suggestions, because we want to hashtag make BrickLink great again. We
So
got Ozzie representing Zany. Oi, as you guys
How are
say.
you? How is everyone?
What's going on? How are you doing? Good morning or afternoon, whatever it is for you.
Yeah, it's afternoon now.
Afternoon? Oh, cool. Afternoon, that means it's get a beverage.
Yep, in the future.
Do you have an adult beverage?
I do not have an adult beverage, and that is because I have to babysit straight after this.
Well, I guess Zany now is also babysitting, but before you would have had to have something mind-altering to be able to represent Zany.
That's all right. I'm already mind-altered. Just to, yeah, Zany and I think alike, so it's okay.
Excellent, excellent. What's up, DC? What's going on? Also, if there's any buyers out there that have questions about what we're talking about with math being off on the wanted list, or their own input, please feel free to speak up.
Yeah, we got to go through here and run through here and see if there's somebody we haven't called out. Kevin Roberts said something to you about his son ordering from you not too long ago. Brick Dudes is in the house. And then Brick or Treat. And then Mr. Bones Bricks was here doing some house cleaning. And Ralph was here earlier. I don't know if they're still here. But they are there somewhere. Probably.
Yeah, Bones didn't even say anything. He just came in, struck a hammer blow, and left.
Yeah.
And then where'd that go? Kevin Roberts, man, since you have my email now, just shoot me an email to make sure that I have your username associated with being a YouTuber, so you can be included in all future offers, deals, and giveaways that are eligible to the YouTube community only. Because that shit's going to actually happen. What's up, Ozzie?
Not much.
Hi, is here.
How is everyone? Good?
What's going on in the future?
In the future, it's raining over here. It's one of those days over here.
That's the present.
Yep, had a very sucky day at work, so I'm just hopefully looking forward to a nice, relaxing night. So I'm ready for the stream.
Is that like a fathead behind you sticker? What is that on the wall? Seen it, but I've never asked you what it is. Is it one of those fathead stickers, those wall murals you just put on?
No, that's like a vinyl sticker.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually cut in half because it was just too big to lay otherwise. Interesting shout out. If you go to CKB's channel, there was a stream that we did, and he actually had me presenting while I was trying to put this up. And if you want to hear the true Aussie vernacular of swearing, you really have to watch that. So
fucking preview, replay, whatever. And the by the way, the AFOL word of the night is fuck.
Well, we'll probably get some of that here in a little while when we start getting into BrickLink. So, what are you working on?
Me? All right. So I had that whole Mel thing. You know, you and I know. You know who Mel is.
Yeah.
Other people that they can find her. And like her feedback is just plummeting. But she mailed out my 3 orders today because she had that deal that you and I talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm finally getting through them down to the last bin on the order from February.
Wow.
It arrived in April.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, that what ended up being like 70% off deal that I got from her will all be rolling in. And if you ask for that coupon,
did you get your?
I bet you'll get my rate if you ask for one.
I haven't seen any big news come in or any new big shipments you were telling me about last week. Anything come in? Yep.
No, but it finally got to Jersey.
Okay.
Got to Jersey. and then the other ones are coming too.
Brick Daddy's Hill.
I'm not sure what I'm doing with those yet. That's all on the down low. We're not
Yeah, and I was
talking
trying to say if they are yet. So, Mr. Bones is back.
So Bones, Ozzie, man, why so quiet?
I'm actually just typing a message to someone on YouTube at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, because when you said link has been sent, I'm like, okay, so I looked at all the usual suspects, Gmail, Hangouts, and I went, oh, I bet it's in YouTube messages, the one area I don't look at. And
Yeah,
there's all these
because,
stick fig requests that I haven't responded to.
Honest reason why is because what I'm doing is I'm typing in OZZ into Gmail, and whatever you bought from me on BrickLink does not have OZZ in the email address.
Oh, yes, it does.
Well, then you're not popping in.
Oh, yes, it does.
That just proves you need to revisit. We got whales, man.
You got whales. I've got heaps of whales. I've got a shark now. Look at that. I've got a shark.
Yeah.
Oh, the shark.
I got zeppelins. 2 of them.
I don't think I need a zeppelin. I do need some more parts though. I'm trying to finish off this thing.
I got a lion cave. Yeah, look at that beast. You know you want that.
Is that in the store? You got that one in the store?
Yeah, of course. This one. What?
There we go. Done.
Speak, people.
Finally done. There we go. Oh, Busy Blocks is here. That means if I'm here, that means she's going to disappear.
What's up, Busy? If you have an opinion on BrickLink and the changes, we want to hear from you. Did you know that if you are searching for a part where you have not selected new or used, you are not actually seeing the true price of the element? You're seeing the average price between new and used.
That's my biggest beef, or one of my biggest beefs. I emailed admin, put a ticket in, because I was noticing when I ran my wanted list through the stores, I was wanting to see where my store would pull the products up. And I was really far down on the list. And it was because my wanted list, on most of the time when I put something in that I want for me or my kids, I usually just don't put new or used, because I'll buy used if it's the right price and the right condition, like some of these classic minifigs. Well, I just don't go through the trouble of identifying. So I was seeing bricks and parts come up that I was 34% higher than somebody else. And I started doing research, and it said that this was supposed to be based off the 6-month sales average. And I started looking. I was like, I'm 1 cent different on the price. How can this be a 50% markup higher than somebody that's 1 cent cheaper than me? And finally, I found out that it was because it's taken the combined average of all used and all new sold over the last 6 months. And that can be a major misleader, I guess, misnomer, what you want to call it, that buyers are going to see, well, he's 36% higher, I'm not going to shop there, and just click on somebody else, when it's all in actuality, it's not any higher. I mean, it just blows my mind. And I just reading Queen City Bricks, Queen Creek Bricks, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
We thought were going out of business a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, they're still an active. They're still an active buyer.
Yeah, they have said the same thing. They're noticing that a lot of their wanted lists are coming up with these inflated percentages, and I just commented on there, kind of explaining the same thing I just said. But so I'm not the only one noticing this. That just because it shows the store is 60% cheaper or 60% higher, it's not a fair representation on price.
Right. So it's not an actual representation of the 6-month average. And the other thing that was disclosed this week was that some of the times on the wine list, it is not actually using the 6-month average. It's using the available average, which is completely throwing off the numbers, and you can actually skew that dramatically. I could go in there definitely and just seriously fuck with shit if I wanted to, but I won't. That means drink.
Well, I'm reading through. I just clicked out of that dang thread. There's a lot of them still complaining in the forums about the wanted list and the autofill feature. And I just read a really interesting, in that same thread, I'll try to find it and put it over here in the chat so you can see it. It was started by, one of them was started by Cal's Bricks. I'll put this in here, but one of them said that they had 155 orders in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm sitting here thinking, what the crap? And it only has 500,000 parts, but had 16,000 lots. Now, a lot of them are duplicate lots.
Right, but the way, so, and they are splitting lots, if people didn't know that. So, if you have, somebody's looking for 50-something and they find 2 stores, they're splitting 21 over here and 29 over here, and I don't know why the numbers are that way. It could also be based upon a combination of the total elements within both stores divided by 2. And that could also go to the new or used side of it as well. And there's people that are venturing to say that that goes as far as sets as well, so that when you're searching for sets and you don't have new or used selected, or sealed or unsealed selected, or you have, anyways, whatever parameters set your way that doesn't match whatever the, basically the query is thinking that you're going to be looking for it, it'll have some erroneous leads as well. And people have also wondered if that also, sometimes when you're searching for a set, if you're also going to get box included in there, because of the way that some people are selling sets. They have boxes listed as sets because they don't know to fucking put them down in the box area.
Yeah, it's, you know, I don't know. I'll put this. I'm gonna share this with everybody in the chat. It's not going to put a link in there though, is it? No.
If there was, yeah, but if there was enforcement on how things are listed, so that in the catalog everything was identical, then a lot of these features would work. But that isn't even close to it, and the people that aren't necessarily doing it that way because of the way that they're marketing their element, it's throwing off all the other stuff in an enormous way.
If you'll, for those of you at home that want to read this later, when you go to the BrickLink forums, let me get it in there. Here's the title of the thread. The creator is Cal's Bricks, and it's got 116 replies. It's a lot of great discussion in that thread of the things going wrong with the wanted list, and the stats on stores being, selling stuff. People that were getting, 20, 30 orders a week. Some of them said 20 orders a day. They're now going to 1 to 2 orders a day. And it's just something weird about the way the stores are being populated in the suggested, the 4 down at the bottom that's supposed to be by the closest geographical area. When you look at those, of course, it's going to show the same 4 or 5 if you got, like in my area. There's not a whole lot in my area, but some of them aren't really in my area. Some of them are 3 or 4 states away. I don't know how that's being, I don't know if it's a percentage match to my wanted list. I really don't know how it's being populated.
Is it actually using the postal distances away as far as that, or is it just if it's a bordering state or a county, then they apply some random number to it? Or not necessarily random, some weighted number to it, but that weighting based upon what? And that's the big question. That's another big question that's in the forum as far as the way that the queries are being ran. Is there's a weighting to them, and it's obvious that there's a weighting to a lot of these. And what is the weighting? Because there's a lot of you can tell there's changes as to sales of what's going on BrickLink, and people are just trying to figure out what they're doing as far as their metric, so that others can change or adapt or make suggestion to change to run the metric differently.
Well, like in my 4, it says shop by dedicated local community, then stores by region. Down at the bottom where it shows the featured 4 stores. I've got one that's in California, and I'm in Mississippi. I'm not great at math, but I think that's a little bit away from me, a couple states. I've got one that's in Texas. I've got one that's in my state, and then I've got one that's in Idaho. And so Idaho, California, and Texas are not really close, because I know there's several stores in Alabama, Tennessee, and Arkansas that would be showing up if it was really done by region. So there's something else feeding into that. It's funny that the 2 on top, one has 2,000 lots, one has 1,200 lots. The bottom 2 stores have 13,000 lots and 12,000 lots. So I don't know if it's really trying to give you a true diversity.
So what? And to other people who might not understand, there might be a weighting as to, like, there might be a weight thrown onto just a random formula based upon how many lots are in a store. And if you have a very high lot store, you could be getting completely overwhelmed with orders because of that. Even though you may have 30 lots with the exact same thing in your store, it's just a broad written, I was going to say ill-written, all right, ill-written code that may not necessarily know how the shopping is done, and maybe looking at it from just a purely outside standpoint. Best way to put it.
When we know, when you read the forums, you know that a lot of people shop. I know I've seen people in the comments here saying they don't shop much by wanted list, but that's mainly how you get your sales from these guys and ladies and chillins going out there and creating their wanted list, and they just shop to see who they can get the most from without having to pay shipping for 2 or 3 stores. And when that feature's screwed up, man, it really messes the buyer up. I mean, we're complaining about being the seller, but you're talking about a store now with your autofill feature having to go to 3 or 4 stores. I still think the autofill feature's screwed up too. I don't know. I'm not really, the whole interface part, the functionality, the design is not a big problem for me. I know some people are complaining about not being able to find buttons and where to go to find their orders and find this. That's not a big deal to me. I mean, I can adjust and adapt.
It fixes itself in like a week.
Yeah.
That's not a big deal. And that's never going to roll back, because that needed to change.
And that's what I want everybody to understand, because I see No More's here, and he likes the new BrickLink. And I like the new look of the BrickLink. I'm not complaining about the colors or the format or the fonts, anything like that. I'm just talking about usability and the analytics behind it, how the coding, and you would speak more on this as an expert in this than I, but when you start looking at the coding of the back-end working of BrickLink, like you said to me earlier, there's something just screwed up about it. There was no testing. It was so many issues done. It's very poorly done. And like you said, BB also told me earlier that it's like the people that did the coding were outsourced in a way that they didn't know how BrickLink was actually used by the end user. And that to me is very evident. I think that's probably what happened.
Yeah, and that's also another really, really good word to throw in there, is there's a huge belief, at least amongst Doc and I, that a lot of this coding was outsourced, and it wasn't done necessarily by the team at BrickLink. It was done by a team elsewhere. But it really seemed as though people understand, or who wrote it understands, how the queries should be made or how people actually shop. It looks like they did a lot of research on their clickometry, because there's lessened the clicks, blah 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 blah. But they may not have looked at other things in that spectrum as well, as far as the repeat or toggled clicking or going back and forth between pages, because they did have to add in a lot more links within the first week that people were just absolutely going bonkers about. In the meantime, use the classic wanted list. Don't trust the numbers when they come up. If you're just seeing random, this is the discount, this is the above on something, and don't really go and check yourself to see like, oh, is it? All right, cool, it is. Then buy everywhere, I guess, or whatever. But anything talk on that one?
Well, I agree with you on a lot of that. I don't know what Ozzie's thinking over there. You use the wanted list, Ozzie, when you're making your huge purchases.
I've only used it once, and that was for the airport that I'm still in the process of finalizing. I don't like shopping like that because I don't like getting exactly what I need. I like getting surplus after. As you guys know, when you receive my orders, like you sit there going, that's way too much of that element. What on earth is he doing with that? But yeah, I like buying surplus on top of that, just simply because the cost of freight is just too much for us over here. So it doesn't make sense for me to use the wanted list too much. So I like going in, and if there's, if I need 3 of these for a build, I'll probably buy, maybe 50 to 100 of them instead. That's what I do. That's my buying habit. It's the cost of doing business here in Australia, I guess. I try and limit the amount of postage cost I'm paying.
No, and I get that side of it totally. Thought it was just funny, yeah.
So it doesn't really affect me. Bruce, I don't know. Like me and him have talked about it a bit. He does use the wanted list quite a bit. I think it's affecting him, but I don't want to talk for him because maybe he doesn't really mind it too much or whatever. But yeah, it's just the way I shop for BrickLink is I look, I type in the element, I have a look who's got the most quantity.
So you shop like me that way. You're a catalog shopper.
Yeah.
You go straight to the element you're interested in. Boom, they got the number I want. I'm gonna get it. What else do they have?
Exactly. And then I just build up the order if I'm in the store. If I find that one element, I go, all right, let's have a look.
Boom,
what else.
From there goes. Yeah, exactly. You shop the same way I do. But the people who are using the wanted list, they're being, I'm not going to say lied to, but
I'm reading through this forum post that I shared, and the stats that are here are saying that there's one person's reported 100 less orders per day in the first 5 days after the upgrade. I can't imagine getting 100 orders a day now.
Well, the other thing to the wanted list, though, the other thing that they're saying is that the way that the wanted list is doing, if you're just blindly following the wanted list without actually doing any research yourself, the wanted list purchasing-wise might be instructing you or advising you to go to more stores than actually you need to, and therefore you're spending more on shipping. And that's also because of the split orders.
Well, and then there's a lot of folks, this thread here saying that there's constantly, even today, being contacted saying they can't check out. So it's that problem seems to not be fixed, and it's not like me and you talked about, and we read in there, and you posted it in the forums, but not being able to clear your cache and cookies and all.
I've got 25 years in software development. I know how to clear the cache.
Well, I saw the admin post that in there on another forum post, just not yours. And I laughed at that. I was like, "This is what they're the best they can do."
Yeah. Thanks. I just got my my AOL disk too. Let me go clear my cache.
There's KMH8. Good morning. Hello. Haven't seen you in a while.
What up?
Well, there's Spirit Particles, you're in the minority on liking the wanted list. I hadn't seen many people say they like it. Can you tell me why you like it in the comments?
No more bricks. Riddle me this. Before the update, if you were working on the same project at the same rate, how many orders did you place in the same span of time between then and now? So compare the two. But in other news, which you guys will probably be hearing a lot more about from a lot more people in the future, is BrickOwl is booming. So check that out and get used to the interface. I have a feeling that's going to be a topic with a lot of people.
No more confused on what you said.
How many orders did you place in the same span of time before the upgrade and after the upgrade if you were working on the same mock at the same rate?
Well,
I'll be surprised if you can answer that question, because it depends on the mock.
And the only reason why anybody would really have to go clear their cache is if the website was forcing a client-side scripting instead of a server-side scripting. And once again, no longer the days of AOL where you need to worry about really the bit rate in between the connection between the provider and the client. A lot of people scripted that way way back when. Because it's saved on bandwidth, and I think they still teach that in college, but once you spend more than like 2 years in the industry, you realize that at this time, with the bandwidth that's available to everybody, it's just better to go server-side. And it also eliminates the problem to need to deal with the whole please clear your cache, which is another annoyance, because
yeah, the mobile phone.
that just shows who this was outsourced to.
All right, he answered your question there, but KMHH is saying that, yeah, another big thing is the mobile, and the mobile can be fixed, I think, relatively easy compared to the other issues they're having. Now they might. That's usually just a template and a couple cut lines of code, but
yeah.
I actually had one problem where someone sent an invoice to me recently with no PayPal details on it at all, and I had to write back to them saying, "Can you please send me your PayPal details?"
that could have been.
And it was a big seller. It was actually a big seller.
Yeah. I finally saw some of the much larger German stores hopping on there, talking about, all right, it's time for me to speak. And some of them didn't say anything. I think it was the largest store in the UK just went in and posted to their splash page, if you can make a purchase, go for it. We're going out of business.
A lot of people say they are closing now.
There's a huge migration happening. So no more bricks. If you were going at the same rate and you placed 9 orders before the upgrade and 15 orders after the upgrade, and how many of those stores, the 6 surplus that you ordered from, offered you free shipping, which allowed you to make up for that surplus that you spent on shipping instead of bricks? That's sort of what the gist of the forum is.
Are you? Oh, weird.
Go ahead.
Very odd.
Looking to DC. What is your experience so far? Have you enjoyed it? I actually like the new UI. I'm glad that they made all those changes. I don't think the navigation is that bad. They're making small tweaks to it, which is you can request a tweak going to the suggestions part of the forum. If it's a tweak like that, please do not submit a bug. If you have a real bug, submit it to bugs@bricklink.com. Please write a pleasant and detailed message to them. Those folks at the behind the desk are working their best to solve all the problems and get everything fixed. You know, doing a great job. And I know the development team too is really working to get all those bugs out. And
so, Big B, what's the name of that other portal that you were talking about just before?
BrickOwl.
I think I've been on there before.
Yeah, it's about 3 years old. It's forum post just keeps going.
I don't think Spirit Particles understands that the German sellers are traditionally the least expensive in the world for their parts, and they're also the ones that are suffering because of this, because of the flaw in the math that goes into the search in the wanted list.
Well, the price, yeah, Spirit Particles. I don't know if you heard it. I don't know when you came in. I didn't see when you came in, but the whole wanted list.
Possibly could have missed that part, that the formula involved in the searches was flawed.
Yeah, Spirit Particles. I emailed admins, and there's several posts in the forums about this also. The wanted list increase or decrease percentage that's shown on the wanted list, like if it shows this person's 1% higher or lower, that's skewed because it's not just the 6-month average. It's correct if every every buyer has that item marked only new or only used, but most people have undetermined or not.
Since it's default, most people have that set to any and all.
Any type, yeah, any
right.
type, and any condition, and any condition returns back a number. That percentage is calculated based on used and new, currently available. Well, not 6-month sales average. It is 6-month sales average, but it's the new and used combined. So,
actually,
for instance,
not the average. If you extrapolate it out on a more expensive part, you can actually see that it's not the 6-month average; that it's the available average.
Yeah.
Well, so yeah, on your element, when you looked at it, it looks just like the 6-month average. It's also because they're basing it on 100th instead of 1,000th or 10,000th, which you would normally do in coding. You know, you wouldn't want to limit yourself so much, especially with such a robust field that you're taking in for data. I mean, your data set is just enormous. So, but so what it is they're averaging averages. So they're taking the available average of new and the available average of used, and then averaging that together. So basically, what that's saying is in order for that math, and only for that math ever to work, there has to be an exact number of new, an exact number of used. There has to be the exact number in every single store in order for that math to work properly. So that's where it starts falling apart, because that is never going to happen. Well, except for on very, very low lot numbers.
In my example that I sent you in the email, or the text message, mine was a dark red brick, 1x2 brick. I was priced at the 6-month sales average for new bricks. But when I had it on my wanted list, just by default, it was as undetermined type, or it didn't matter, any type, any condition. It came back that I was like 34% higher than the 6-month sales average. And it blew my mind, because I knew where my prices were, and I went to the price guide, I looked at it, I think it was like 8 cents off the top of my head, and it was right at the 8-cent mark. I was perfectly in line. It should be a big 0% or just blank, nothing there. But it was showing in red that I was like 30% higher, and it was because I didn't mark new. And so what it was doing is throwing this inflated, crazy number of a combined number up there. And if I was a customer shopping and I saw 34% higher, and I'm shopping for new, but I didn't mark it on my wanted list as new, I'm just going to skip by that store, and that's what we're reading in the forums. We think some buyers are doing is they're scrolling down. Even if that customer's got the quantity I need and I see 34% higher, I'm not going to click on that store. That's where we're coming from on that. So it's not that my prices are any higher than anybody else. It's because my wanted list was not checked correctly. Well, actually, it shouldn't even be an option.
It's because the way the math is being run. They're averaging averages, and then when you average averages, everything starts getting thrown off and gets skewed. For instance, the buyer will pay more if you are shopping for a used price, and you say the 6-month average, or what we would like it to be a 6-month average. It's currently 6-month available, but 6-month average was 3 cents on the used, 5 cents on the new. Your query runs. You're looking at your wanted list, and you're thinking that 4 cents is the average. There's a store that actually has the element you're interested in for 3.6 cents. You're like, yeah, it is, whatever percent cheaper than what the average is, when in fact, it's actually 20% higher.
It's just all screwed up. I mean, it really is. Now, I mean, if you got an anal retentive buyer or user, not just a buyer, anybody. If I did a lot of my stuff, I don't care what it is. Like I said, I don't mark everything new and used because some of it I buy either way. But if you had somebody that was only buying new parts, then they probably wouldn't run into this problem because that feature is not easily seen because if you don't look right there in the order list when you check it, you're going to skip over that part.
Right. And it's also hiding stores, and this is a personal complaint, and I'll do my own little rant on this one. It's also excluding stores the way that it's running if they have lot limits. So unless, and then that is also based upon the number of stores that it sends you to in your orders. Now, if it sends you to 5 different stores, and I have a lot limit of 5 in my store, you have to be looking for a number that's divisible by 25 in your checkout in order for my store to even qualify for your order, your search, your initial query to even find shit. So that's why I'm fucking pissed.
Yeah.
Because I put lot limits on there because I have a life and a family, and having lot limits also very easily helps me and my customers maintain the dollar per lot limit that I've got on my store. My voice is soothing. Thank you, Bearded Brick. Thank you.
100%. He's on the toilet while he wrote that. 100%.
That image.
So basically, what's happening in the behind the scenes in the forum, if you really keep up on it, is there's a lot of people that have been on there for years that are known for running numbers and posting information, and now people are really starting to look at what is happening with regards to the sales. Nobody can really track the amount of each sale to know what how the site itself is doing. You can only track the number of orders that are going down, and now the validity of that number is coming into question because are the developers using a development site to do their testing, or are they live testing on the BrickLink site to admin stores, and are those tests also counting on the number of orders made query? And like I said before, Brick Owl is booming. And D, I agree with you wholeheartedly. There are a lot of fucking people on the forum that are complete fucking whiners, and it does suck the life out of you from time to time completely, but there's also a lot of people on the forum that are incompetent and have been following and watching the numbers and the trends and everything on BrickLink for years, and when they talk, even if you do consider them to be whiny, and if they have sucked the life out of you, it's still good to listen to them and to hear what they have to say, because sometimes they know more than you do, and I do.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm like you. Some of them, they're the most smart mouth, get on your nerves, aggressive people in the forums, but they're coming with hard facts right now, and they're putting their numbers out there. That's what's getting my attention. And I don't think they're lying, because these are full-time sellers, and
even the person that posted those initial numbers that was very much a champion for BrickLink being the same is now starting to question if their own numbers are valid because of the question itself of how is testing even being done. And that's a huge question amongst people in the development community that know the industry and know how things are done. Because a lot of times at smaller companies, they don't have a dedicated development area to be able to do these things, and they do live tests in private areas, and those queries still go to account, which drives up the counter, which drives up anybody who's running statistics. So if you are a numbers geek like I am, and basically that is my job, is numbers, that's when you can see the flaws in things and just not be able to gloss over it.
Yeah, there's too many folks mentioned. I mean, but there's folks on there that aren't the whiners that are coming on there, and I haven't seen them on there. I don't post a lot on there, but I do watch. And there's too many people saying the same things. And there's no consistency either to the folks that are saying. There's like, for every 10 people that say they're having bad sales, one person gets in there and says they're having good sales, and there's no consistency as to lots, store size, pricing, anything, and because they're all going into this one guy that's saying he's having great sales, and nobody can figure out what's his store different than everybody else's, you know. I mean, I'm not talking about,
they also did point out that, you know, he had like 20 different lots of the exact same thing, which lends itself to that if you are not using the tools properly, it goes to your advantage. And that could go also towards the lot splitting. When that happens, especially on a common element, and you have multiple lots in your store of the exact same thing, you could take a larger portion of those limits. So if your store is done one on purpose like that, or two like mistake like that, and it's just sort of like done amateurly because you don't know what the consolidate button is for, then you could be greatly benefiting from it like that.
yeah, that is one thing to think about.
Yeah, and that actually would probably somebody like you, Ozzie, who shops on the catalog, where you just want to see the raw number of parts that you fucking want. Drink.
Exactly.
If somebody had 1111111 or 555555 all the way down their page for the 100 elements they actually had listed in 20 different lots, you would never even find their store because you're looking for 100 of it. You're just looking for who's got 100 and up. You don't even need a wanted list for that. It's actually faster just to go straight to the catalog, to the caller, who's got 100.
And that's what I do.
Yeah, that's what I do too. And that's why I'm in Brick Domination. Hashtag Brick Domination.
It's going to be interesting to watch over the next week and see what they do week 2 of fixing errors, because I have not seen well, let me go double check before I say anything. I haven't noticed a announcement by admins. It says checkout issues resolved. That's bull crap from Cheryl. But there really hasn't been anything added since the 14th, and
I was also fielding tickets and bug reports for customers of mine that didn't want to submit bugs. So I was submitting bugs with their browser type version bullshit. And
did you
they were immediately closing the ticket, like just closing it. And everybody knows that if you have a trouble ticketing system that's outward facing, you create a master ticket, you slide underneath it, the case, and you continue to slide underneath all additional cases that match that bug. That way, when you pass along the ticket to the developers to fix the actual bug, they can weight the problems at hand and see which is the most severe and see how many they have in each category, whether it be just a stupid fucking link not working or something like serious, like a security hole. And when you close it immediately, it never really passes along the true information to the development team of what the big problems are. All they hear is a report from you on what you think the biggest problem is, and the biggest problem might actually be something that is very minute that a lot of people just don't like because they're not used to it. And that's actually what happened in the first few days after the update, is they just went bonkers and wild and crazy on the whole give me my wanted list, and didn't actually address the problem. Like, more than 50% of the community was affected by bugs that was not able to check out with stuff, or it opened up huge security holes for people that had blocked or stop listed buyers or sellers because of harassment issues. And that's a huge ordeal because there's been issues where people just are threatening, are assholes. They have your address, they have your information. And I'm sure for a lot of people that are doing this, and this is a way that they're bringing in a second or third income to help their family along, that's not something that they wanted to bring into their household. So that was a huge, huge issue for me that I had a problem with. Not necessarily for me at all, because I got fucking guns, but for other people.
Did you delete that post when Carol posted that she fixed the...
Yeah. As soon as she said, "Hey, we're on it," I was like, "All right, cool, gone." I'm not gonna be a dick, but I let her know, like, "Hey, fucking have somebody respond to shit." Not in those words, because she's cool and I like her, and she's actually awesome and doing a great job. And she takes a lot of shit, and she doesn't deserve it, and she's a cool cat. So the whole front end team and dev team, like you and I said earlier, the outsourcing that was done on this just didn't seem like they knew how anything was actually used. And now the team that we have is having to fix the problems that they created.
Yeah.
We're talking about Jenks.
Talking about we believe that the coding for the upgrade was outsourced.
Okay. No, for some reason I just thought maybe just bring up Jengs. No.
Oh, Jang?
Yeah, like it's not that other Lego show without kicking him in the guts.
All right, go ahead, man. You got 7 minutes. Give some shit out for the. All right, yeah. Let's give the creator crew 7 minutes. Go.
No, I just thought it's time to kick him in the guts. Like he can't go a whole episode without getting kicked in the guts. Like it's just. Really?
That's all you got, man? You're fucking passive today.
Normally I have backup here, but I've got no backup.
Who do you want me to bring in? Who you need? Who you need?
I want the beard. I want the beard in here.
You want the beard?
Yeah.
The bearded one?
The bearded one. For the next 6 minutes.
Give him that name.
I do talk a lot, Beard.
I do talk loud, I'm sorry, especially when I think we're having fucking breaded.
Chima for Ozzie. Yes, Chima.
There's no
Ozzie.
Chima for me. I'm glad that I am.
I'm gonna have to check that channel out. I just found a breaded brick.
What now?
I was typing in bearded brick and typed breaded brick. And
Breaded brick?
And it came up a valid channel, and then I was just like, that's not him, it's not capitalized in the front and back.
That's fantastic.
I realized it was breaded. Rant, Bone, rant.
I can't believe me.
Incredibly boring.
Word? No, Bearded Brick, you do not need to show love to Big B. He's got plenty of love.
So, if you want to give me some love, and let's give me some love if you want, use hashtag Make BrickLink Great Again. Check out In My Stow for an extra 10% off for the next week.
Oh man, I need to keep
Special gift to the YouTube family. You got one? You got a hashtag Make BrickLink Great Again offer? I know we didn't plan this shit, but
I offer my unconditional love and support. So I'll hook you up as long as it's a decent order.
Vince, check your hangout.
I hook all my brothers up
it does need a flow.
and sisters.
So should we talk about genuine leather or?
Boom! Hold up! Nora Bricks is saying, "Yeah, I ordered from Big B. He lives in Washington State.
Oh,
Ordered
here we
from
go.
another seller in Pennsylvania the day earlier, and they're both shipped at the same time. Big B's came before the Penn one did. Yeah.
Yeah, there are people that put. I mean, I've even experienced this myself ordering. There's some people that just go 4 or 5 days processing their order. Yes, if you put Shima and if you order from me and put Shima in there, you get a discount and possibly Shima parts. Probably just prefer people from buying my stuff.
And to No More Bricks, we got part 3 of 3 right here, brother. Part 3 of 3 has arrived. So
Part 3 of 3.
That looked like a really big toilet paper roll.
It looked like raffle tickets.
Harold is the only one that knows about it. Harold, if you guys have noticed, if you follow hashtag BigBBall, you'll see that Harold's the only one posting about it because he's the only one that knows about it. But there's an up-and-coming game in my store.
Those are raffle tickets, aren't they?
I'm just
There is,
assuming
it
that
is.
was toilet paper.
Um,
I'm just assuming that was toilet paper.
No. There's an upcoming contest in my store, which is, of course, complex and progressive, because all fun games should be. That includes raffles, giveaways, and bingo.
Bingo.
Each
That's
of the letters
Maybe the bingo.
BINGO will be a separate prize, and you will also receive a bingo ball, which you will mark on your bingo card that you receive with your order, and you will play along with all of the other YouTube community as you guys try to fill in a row, 5 in a row, a complete card, and then also compete for prizes as the month goes on. And if you win the prize, you would actually be able to forego winning it to enter into the next level, which is even larger and more fucking absurd. So
Okay, so basically this is
a little
Big B
brief
Scientology.
intro to it.
Yeah. So this is
So
Big B
you're
Scientology.
all over the country?
I don't know. That's just what Harold said. Basically, that's fucking balls, like balls to the wall, fucking crazy. So it'll be called Big B Balls or Big B Ball.
Oh my God, this is great. Big B.
So we're talking about a prize where it would be like, you know, the mega uber fucking prize would be like a $250, $350 set.
Okay. You're not going to e-meter anyone or something like that?
What's that?
No one's getting an e-meter before you know, being assessed in this prize?
Yeah, bearded. Yeah. Mr. Bonner thinks a pyramid scheme somewhere in this.
Gonna fucking form a religion around it, brother. Make my shit fucking tax free
Is
too.
your bingo game going to be like you have to order, and every time you order, you get a chip, and you have to play blackout on every card?
Oh no! With each order, you're gonna get another card. So the more orders you place, the more you can play. But it's not gambling at all.
And is this also leveled? Like the bigger the order? The higher the
It's
level
definitely
you get.
tiered. It's definitely tiered, but it's not like a pyramid.
Right. This sounds legit.
It is. It is. And the best part is, we'll have kids running it.
Yeah. You should get it registered.
It'll totally be below suspicion because it'll be kids running it.
Ozzie loves Jane. Pretty good on beer.
Dear.
Dr. Oz totally endorses Big B balls. They're large and they're fun to play with.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Or so I've been told.
Oh. Is that what she
In fact,
said?
child labor, legal child labor at its best. And, best part of it, too young to actually be charged with a felony.
Yeah, but that scares me. You start bringing child and balls and.
Oh no! There'll be an actual innocent name that goes to it, but yeah, that's Harold's working name. It's not necessarily the name we're running with.
Girl Scouts packing orders.
Yeah, and I already said there's no S at the end of it. It's just Big B ball.
So why do you only got one?
Because you only place one order at a time. The next time you place another, you get another ball. You can go and you also get another prize because of the 5 prizes. Howie's involved with this too. Howie's going to be a prize. Howie is the letter O.
Hey, let's talk about Howie for a minute. What's up with these stickers he's selling?
Exactly. That's what you're going to get if you place an order in my store and you get an O.
That I didn't see him. Did he make an announcement on that? Did I miss it? Or
yeah, he's selling them in his store. They're cool as all get out. Go check out. Go check out Howie's stuff over at howiestuff.com. He's doing.
I just ordered from him. I didn't know he was selling those.
Yeah. Go check him out. Go check him out. Swell fella, member of the community.
Huh. Cool.
So, Big B, when are you selling everyone's sig fig?
So far, we only got Zany. Zany is on board for the sig fig drop shipping. Zany is signed up for it. I've got actually all I need to do, because we've already confirmed all the parts are in store, is pull them and set up the link and get it to them, and it's gonna happen. And I should actually be doing. I should do that tonight. Thank you for reminding me. I'll do that tonight. Get that to my man to get that off his mind. Not that it really is probably on his mind, but get people to stop fucking bugging him about it when he should and is doing other stuff that's more important.
So when are you going to do it for the rest of us?
When you guys ask.
Well, I'm all ears.
All right. Well, I'll send you. I sent a test email awaiting actual ripping of ass feedback to Bones and Zany to see if my language was correct in there and it sounded semi-professional, because this is a service that I do want to offer to people, because I know people like you, Ozzie, who doesn't give a shit about the TFOL community whatsoever and wants nothing to do with them at all. Basically, just a politer way to say "fuck off" is saying I have a link here in my videos if you want my sig fig. And I know that that's what it's for.
What the crap is he holding?
Well, what I'm finding really funny is if you do it, the difficulty you're going to have trying to get my sig fig.
Alright, well, that's...
I think I bought all the stock.
And that's why everything's going to report. That's why a lot of things are reporting.
Here it's going to be
contest in my store, which
is not on his mobile.
Here it's watching TV and mute your mic screen. Do you even know he's on?
Can you mute him?
Yeah,
I can't. For some reason.
If I mute him, he might not ever come back.
Well, we're over by 4 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Well, I say I can mute him. It's not letting me.
Anyways, all right, as we close...
Well, let me say something before we close.
Have a great
I will
fucking time.
say-
Don't believe the numbers that are just shown in front of you. Be smart enough to do one level of research back on it and make sure that those numbers are correct, because otherwise you're just a fucking sucker. I'm Big B, I'm Brick, and thanks for joining.